Boy, today, you watch what's going to happen. I'm going to be giving you advanced. I'm telling you, your IQ is going to go up 10 points in the first 15 minutes of this show today. I'm going to be talking about what Steve Bannon's got to say now that he's out of jail. I'm going to be talking about the meltdown in the New York Times over Christian nationalism and the boogeyman of what guys like me represent. Going to talk, Victor Davis Hanson is going to talk about how Trump has completely redefined the country by putting the middle class as an entity up against their race against race and gender against gender strategy on the left. And we're going to talk about the amazing threat that is happening right now with McConnell stepping down and no one's paying attention to the rhinos taking over. But you know what I'm doing? I'm taking a super veggie 60-count break. You know what that means? I've got superfood veggies and superfood fruit. I've been watching these commercials on TV of a guy eating a pound of vegetables over here and then a pound of fruit over here. But you know what I got in my hand right here? 4 little capsules. They represent the ingenious discovery made by our friends at Ancient Nutrition. Hold on. I'm going to eat 2 pounds of vegetables and fruit. Amazing how this can happen in America. 23 regenerative, organic certified veggie superfoods with herbs, including regenerative, organic certified fermented plantain leaf, holly basil leaf, moringa whole plant, which are all grown on the special soil-enriched farm land of Ancient Nutrition. I want you to go to ancientnutrition.com/Lance. And if you use the code Lance's Superfood, oh, that's a mouthful, Lance's Superfood, you can get the amazing Lance's discount off of that. But listen, there's 16 regenerative organic certified fruits. And the reason why it's important is for your stomach. It's gut health. It's because it includes these powerful probiotic strains of the Bacillus subtilis AB22. Now, you may not know what that is, but every time I talk to Dr. Jordan Rubin, he explains these things in a way that anybody can understand. That's why I'm doing a pound of veggies and a pound of fruit every day. I got to be careful when I do it because, boy, do I feel like Superman if I take it at night. That's not a good time to do it. Do it during the day. All right, make sure you go to ancientnutrition.com/Lance and use the code Lance Superfood, one word, Lance Superfood, one word, and stay on this program here because we're going to be covering some powerful information in about 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Boy, am I excited about today's show. You're going to love it. You're going to love it, love it, love it. The reason why we're going to do it differently than usual, I want you to get your cell phone out, unless you're watching this on a cell phone. Don't have to tell you then. But I want you to get your phone out. I want you to go to Elon Musk's X app. Make sure you've downloaded it because the Twitter feed, the old-fashioned, he never should have called it Twitter. I mean, never should have changed the name from Twitter to X. Don't you agree, Mercedes Sparks, who's with me today, that Elon's really brilliant, but that the X was a bit of a mistake? Because nobody says, did you read the latest X? But we do read the latest tweet.
Yeah, I could go there with you, sure. People can, accuse me of being too contrarian. So yes, Lance, I agree with you.
Okay, thank you, Mercedes, for that unqualified endorsement. My point is, I want you to go to the Twitter feed or the X feed. And I want you to go to @Lance Wallnau, LanceWallnau. That's @Lance Wallnau, where you could join the approximately 105,000 people on my page. We need a new picture up there, by the way, something new.
Yes, we're going to switch the banner out.
My graying hair. As you might notice, my hair is slightly different than that photo.
Oh, you mean the banner. Yeah, we can switch that out.
The banner. And speaking of banner, let's go to Bannon. The first one in my feed is he's back. I want you to get ready for a record audience at Bannon's War Room. Now, those of you that are watching the War Room, well, what can I say? But a lot of Americans need to find, because I put posts out. I was so mad when he went into prison as a political prisoner, along with Peter Navarro. Man, that makes me mad, because I could see myself going there someday by the same Three Stooges up there on the hill that would put him in prison. Yeah. But hey, guys, you got video number 1? Ready? My crew never knows when I'm going to do this to them. Video 1, I want you to play Steve Bannon, right out of prison, talking about what they think of Kamala Harris in prison.
I can tell you, in coming from and being a political prisoner in a federal prison, that the young men in this country that are African American and Hispanic detest Kamala Harris. They detest her. We're going to go into details today and at the press conference of why that's up. But we have a chance to move past race on November 5th. Everything we have fought for so many years is all coming to fruition, and we have to have a convergence. And my fear is that some people, I think, are trying to lean on the shovel and say, look at the polls, these polls, and Trump always under polls, and he does this, so Trump's up 3, 4, 5. Hey, maybe that's the case, but that's theoretical right now. Reality is the electorate we bring on November 5th, and that gets back to you. That gets out to get the vote. Look.
It's a vast movement. We aren't on the fringes anymore. We are economic populism driven by faith, a faith-filled economic populism. You know, you notice the hair effect. For those of you that are just listening to the podcast, you couldn't appreciate the Moses-like quality of Bannon. Did you notice the halo effect around his head? It's rather, go back and play it again, but just turn the sound off. I want you to see the halo effect. Because of its backlit, they have the fine, he didn't get a haircut in prison, obviously. So he's got this white aura around his head. He's come down from the mountain of Danbury, Connecticut's prison system. Oh, I'd like to have a halo effect on my head. All right, so anyway, back to Lance's Twitter feed. And tell me, do you think that Musk should have not changed the name from Twitter to X? So the great news is Bannon is back. And oh boy, is he feisty today. There's another video clip I could play for you, but I don't know if I'm going to use this for Real America's Voice. You guys would have already seen it. But where he bites off the head of Pelosi. He says, they sent me there to silence me and to break me. Well, guess what, Pelosi? I'm not broken. I am razor sharp. And he is. He's got something to do. So now my staff posts stuff on my Twitter. If you go to the next post, if you guys aren't on Lance Wallnau, go find Lance Wallnau on Twitter because they post this stuff. Your spirit knows things your head doesn't know. So when you pray with the spirit, you're not praying with your understanding. You're praying with your spirit and your mind has got to catch up. I teach this stuff from the Bible, but here's something for you that you might not know about, those of you that haven't studied the New Testament. And Mercedes and I both happen to have degrees in Bible study, in Bible, as a subject, right?
Yes.
Theology.
Yes, sir.
So in the New Testament, the Apostle Paul refers to the fact that there is a thing called praying in the Spirit. Pentecostals, for instance, talk about praying in other languages, other tongues. Well, there is such a thing as praying in the Spirit, a spiritual language. And the way that works is your spirit prays, but your understanding is unfruitful. That's what Paul teaches. But what it really talks about is the fact that you're a spiritual being and that you have a soul. Most people don't ever bother to look at this. You got a body. Your body gets shot, boom, you're out of your body. But what leaves your body? Your spiritual man. Your spiritual man is two parts, soul and spirit. Soul and spirit is the invisible part of you. The soul is, of course, your thinking, your mind, will, and your emotions. Your spirit is the deeper part of you that really is the formation of your identity, the core of your heart, your personality. When you pray in the Spirit, you're praying in a way that is going around the limitations of your understanding. And that's a great asset. If you can then stop praying and be open to wisdom when God is trying to reveal something. You're authorizing something out of your mouth that releases something to your understanding. And so that quote's kind of a powerful quote because when you do not know how to pray, you could still pray. You don't always have to be limited in your prayers by what you know because we're so ignorant. A lot of us don't understand. So for instance, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Slide down your Twitter feed, if you don't mind, and go down to the one which is, I had one down there earlier. I want you to read it. It's too bad. all the way down. Oh my gosh, so much posted. I sit up at night and do this. Here we
He
go.
said David French was French fried.
David French is
That's
French
pretty
fried.
funny.
Yes,
I like that.
Can you go down? Do you guys see the one that goes there with Charlie Kirk's quote about Elon Musk at Madison Square Garden, going to Mercedes, talking about Madison Square Garden on our last broadcast? Yeah, that's it. That's it. So if you scroll down one day ago, and here's what I wrote. It would not have been possible to achieve this level of alignment. Let me read to you what Charlie Kirk said. Elon Musk at Madison Square Garden. America's not just going to be great. America is going to reach heights it's never reached before. The future is going to be amazing. The crowd begins chanting, Elon, Elon, Elon. Was that a great moment there, Mercedes?
Yeah, I was telling you, I was looking for
Tell me
Elon
about the moment,
whole time.
Mercedes. What happened?
Oh, it was just powerful. I mean, it was electric when he came out and he's out there, he's talking, and I mean, he's just, he's pumped. I mean, it was awesome. I loved everything he had to say.
You guys want to play some of it?
We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook. And America's just not just going to be great. America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing.
Elon, baby. That's great. He kind of reminds me of Conan O'Brien at times. So watch this. I wrote the comment here, which I would say, it's like when I pray, I don't understand what God's doing. Like 2020, I didn't understand what's going on. Is America just going to be, do our prayers, are they affecting anything? Oh God, when we're risking our lives out there to save this country. But all of this, like Elon Musk at Madison Square Garden, would not have been possible to achieve this level of alignment. I'm talking about Elon, RFK Jr., Tusley, misspelled that, it's supposed to be Tulsi. Tusley, Tesla, Tucker, and Vivek. I know some of you aren't crazy about Vivek. I love all of the minds, the brilliant gifts that God has given us, and Russell Brand, Jordan Peterson. This level of national alignment and momentum would not have been possible right now in history if this was the end of Trump's second term. Listen to what I'm saying. If Trump hadn't been denied the victory in 2020, you wouldn't see RFK and Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Tulsi, Tucker, Vivek, Russell Brand. God, I'm seeing it as an alignment that has happened because of the delay. There's been a greater clarification coming. Who would have picked up the Trump assignment, by the way? If he was leaving office now, well, I guess we would have had DeSantis would have been running.
Yeah, DeSantis would have been good. We actually had a really strong bench. I like Vivek a lot, but
Vivek's good.
yeah.
But do any of them represent the wrecking ball capacity?
No.
The Samson-like energy in the camp of the Philistines and the Finkelsteins? Now, I'll tell you, Trump is it. Who would have picked up the Trump assignment, the Trump mantle, carried? I was going to use the word Trump baton, but I couldn't get spell check to tell me how to spell it. It's the Trump assignment. Even J.D. Vance wasn't fully on board in 2020 like he is now. God has perfect timing. How many of you know this is the right time? It's kind of late. It's kind of a cliffhanger, but it's the right time. And then I wrote an apology 15 hours later. I forgot Vivek. I threw him in there. All right. So do you see what I'm saying? The sovereignty and the wisdom of God. Now go down to that third 4 hours ago. David French. Oh, I got 7 seconds left. What does that mean? Does that mean I have to take a break right now?
Yeah, and then we have one more.
All right, I got to take a break. I'm going to come right back. I want you to hear this because this is annoying to me. When the New York Times, you tell me, stop acting like I got a persecution complex. But Mercedes sent it to me today. I got to tell you, David French is getting me annoyed now because I found out he used to be a Pentecostal. For Pentecostals to be this stupid brings a bad reputation to Pentecostalism. We'll be right back. I wanted to take a minute to talk about one of my great heroes of the faith, which is Mike Lindell. What's really cool about Mike is it's not just the pillow. It's the fact that the guy makes really cool products. For instance, I start my day off with my coffee. I had a cup of coffee the other day here in the office, and I said, no, I want that. It wasn't like Starbucks. It tastes better. And it was Mike's Coffee. I said, what is it? They go, Mike Lindell's Coffee. I said, my gosh, get a bunch of my coffees. Now, the best way to start the day is you put on these slippers, right? And have your My Coffee. If you've not worked with these slippers yet, I'm not kidding you. There's a special kind of a design that Mike has put into these with 4 layers of cushion with a solid sole and a fur interior. I call it my sip and slip strategy. I start my day off by slipping on my slippers and having a sip of Mike's coffee. But you know what else I'm curious about now? Because I've got to check out the 2.0 pillow. The 2.0 pillow actually is designed so that it distributes the heat of your own head, your face. You know, you're lying there, and it makes it so the pillow's always cool. Now, I like that because I wake up in the middle of the night and have to flip over my pillow because it gets hot. Mike's solved that problem. I want you to go to mypillow.com, promo code Lance, because you can get a discount that I've set up for the pillows, for the coffee, and for the slippers. And do it today. You'll be happy. And so my note on David French and his article in the New York Times mentioning me as a 7-mountain madman, a dominionist who's lost his mind, leading a dangerous movement of Christian nationalists in the nefarious underground organization. It's like Thrush in the, or A Man from U.N.C.L.E., or in the James Bond movies. There's always this fictitious enemy, this underground organization. They're up against Smurf and Thrush and Chaos. They get smart, never get smart. They were up against Chaos, which is ironic because Chaos is my code name for what I use in my book. But I wrote this about David French. The poor man, David French, who was attacking me, has late-stage Trump derangement syndrome. It's made the brain of David French French fried. And nothing annoys these pretentious conservative intellectuals like being poked fun at. Yes, David French's brain is French fried because of Trump derangement. It started going up. He was, I used to read him in like National Review years ago, and I liked him. Then one day he went after Seven Mountains Wallnau. I go, what the heck? What's wrong with these guys? You don't want Christian influence in scholarship? You don't want Christians in the Nobel Peace Prize. You don't want them working in laboratories doing science. You don't want the Sir Francis Bacons. You don't want Bach in music. What's the matter with you people? You don't want a Wilberforce in politics? You don't want Christians involved with anything but what? Opinion pieces for the New York Times? Why is it you have the right to be in the media, but other Christians aren't allowed to be going up the media mountain and ascending the mighty hill of media? These people. Anyway, don't get me going. Don't get me going, because once I start going down that trail, I go down into the offenses, and then I got to come back up and repent. Oh, here's one. Read this next one. Go to Twitter, people. If you're not following Lance Wallnau on Twitter, you're not where Elon. I'm with Elon now. I'm helping Elon. I'm helping the Musk factor on Twitter, which is now called X. I wrote this one 5 hours ago. Victor Davis Hanson. Why don't you read Victor Davis Hanson? What a brilliant guy. I love the professor here. Here's what he says. The surreal aspect of the Netanyahu retaliatory tour is that he has done more to neutralize European and American enemies. So brilliant. I love smart people. The surreal aspect of what Israel's done, punching back at Hamas and Hezbollah, is that this Jewish prime minister has done more to neutralize European and American enemies with decades of Western blood on their hands. More accomplished by one Cyrus in office, one Trumpian empowered military politician, dare I say. More accomplished than NATO, the CIA, the FBI, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, Interpol combined, and yet more often received rebuke, correction, than gratitude for his achievement. Netanyahu and the armies of Israel has done more than NATO, the United Nations, the CIA, the FBI, Interpol, and our entire political apparatus done more to break the back of our enemies. And yet all he's received is grief. Grief, grief. What a perspective. You really have to digest this to appreciate the magnitude of what he says. And these never-Trumpers, why are they the way they are? Why are they the way they are? Hey, can you guys go to that news feed? Go there. You see where I've got Victor? Just click on Victor Davis Hanson. Let's play Victor Davis Hanson. While I'm on a roll here of spontaneity, watch what he says about the never-Trumpers. Okay, play it from the beginning, please.
A whole career of conservative positions just because the messenger of them now is Donald Trump. The message is the same in many ways. So there's a hatred. And why, your question is, why does that arise? I think part of the reason is he's transformed the stereotype of the Republicans of the well-to-do who were only interested in deregulation, capital gains, privatizing Social Security, into a broad-based workers, nationalist, patriotic, middle class that substitutes class solidarity for race. So what the never-Trumpers, political and pundit, don't understand is when they smear him as a racist, a xenophobe, he's going to get a larger percentage of the black vote, the Hispanic vote, than any John McCain or Mitt Romney or Bush's. And he's going to do that because he's trying to say to the black truck driver, the Mexican-American carpenter, the white coal miner, you all have more in common with each other than you do with somebody on MSNBC or some professor or some Al Sharpton spokesman. And that's very scary to all these people, to make a national middle-class party. And it gets a lot of Republicans very angry because, they want to, he doesn't want to cut Social Security. I guess he would prefer an increase in taxes rather than cut Social Security for people. Or he thinks he's going to cut the abuse out. People said that if Donald Trump gets a hold of the Republican Party, I can remember a chapter and verse in 2016, and he goes through with this lunatic idea of building a wall and saying that no more illegal immigration. We're going to be short workers. The Chamber of Commerce came out against him, and we will lose the Hispanic vote for a generation. And Donald Trump said, that's crazy. These people, unlike you, are on ground zero. When gang members come in, cartel members come in, crime comes in, they will want me to do this. And they said, he is a lunatic. And what happened? He not only did not lose any more than they did, he actually gained sizable constituencies in non-white communities just because they had the same concerns that he did and the white working class did. But, when you start talking like that, that kind of makes irrelevant or silly all of these Washington Beltway experts and pundits.
Boy, oh boy, so listen to this. Did you catch what he said? I want to raise the caliber of conversation in our podcast to a higher ideologic mode. I don't want to constantly be doing these, oversimplified, answers to obvious, things going on. We got to go a little deeper. Trump is a threat because he is taking the race-manipulated argument of black against white and gay against straight and white against the Latino. And the left wants to rig it up because the Bible says that as lawlessness increases and offenses continue, that there's a further categorizing of people. The word for accuser in the Bible, the accuser of the brethren, Satan. The word for accuser is the root word for categorizing. Did you know that, Mercedes Sparks?
I did not know
that. The word accusation or the accuser of the brethren is the word to categorize. The essence of Marxism in its ingenious serpentine sophistication is to take the poor against the rich, the white against the black, the male against the female, female against the male. That's why choice versus abortion, oh, they love that issue because it allows them to galvanize women against men. Categorizo, accusation, division. based on everything. And then Trump comes along and goes, you know, you guys got a lot more in common as the middle class in America. I'm a billionaire. I mean, like, I'm going to tell you, we got the thing rigged. I mean, it works for us. It doesn't work for you. So let me tell you, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to try to get the deal for you. Because you see, if you're Hispanic and Latino, you're always going to be broke. You're always going to be struggling as long as they game the system. It's terrible what they do. Stupid people getting us involved with wars, and we're losing all our money to these foreign competitors. They're not really building a manufacturing middle class, not increasing wages. Very stupid. So he calls them stupid. And they're infuriated because he's saying the middle class, by the way, is Hispanic. You're emerging into the middle class. Fight for your right to have a piece of the pie. By the way, black Americans, you know, you don't want it. You want to get off the government, dole. Get off of their deal they've got, which locks you into perpetual servitude and poverty with moms that are having multiple baby daddies. You know, we're going to fix that. You know what we're going to do? You need to get better jobs, better economic, a bigger piece of the pie. I'm going to put you at the table. Middle class Hispanic, middle class black, white working men in the coal mines or in the energy fields or in the drilling fields. We're going to get you. You have white, black, and Hispanic all have something in common in the middle class. That's a fascinating observation as to why Trump is redefining, and he redefined the Republican Party. I'm covering all this stuff, people. I'm giving you my own analysis of what's important. Now we leap right to something many people are missing. McConnell just announced he's stepping down. What does it mean? That means that you've got the rhinos are going to take over the Senate. So, oh yeah, we get control of the Senate. Not enough. We cannot let a rhino, I'm in Texas. You don't want our senator in charge of that. You don't want Cornyn or Thune, who are not Trump guys, in charge of the Senate. But that's another story for another time. Right now, a major decision is being made. We have to get involved. The MAGA people have to get involved. But we'll be back again on our next broadcast to talk about what to do so that the Senate is not adversarial to Trump in his next administration. We'll be seeing you tomorrow.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to navigate the world